Hi, it's Lisa again with Essential Life Naturals. Another quick video using some essential oils today. I'm making bug spray, and I'm now making some candles to keep the bugs away. So in my previous video, I've got a really simple and easy recipe for bug spray, which is all natural, very safe, and even safe to use on children. And this is a really quick and easy recipe for making your own soy candles using essential oils to keep the bugs away. And not only are they nice to use on your patio or outside or if you're camping, but it's a really nice gift to give to somebody, and it's really easy and it's homemade, which is really fun. So starting with soy wax, you can buy soy wax on the internet. You can even buy it at craft stores, Michael's. So it usually comes in, you can get it in these flakes, which is it just melts easier. So get soy wax in flakes, and then also buy yourself some candle wicks. And what I did was I bought some of these little glue dots, and I attached the glue dot to the bottom of the wick and then stuck it in the bottom of my jar. And I've got a couple of different jars here that you can see. I've got two little kind of ball candy jars, and then I have one little tin. So you can use teacups, you can use old jelly jars, really whatever you want to use that you think is cute. So it's a good way to reuse some old jars and things like that you just weren't going to do anything with. And if you want to get fancy, you can wrap ribbons around them afterwards, or put chalkboard labels, or whatever you want to do to be creative. And then so what I did is I took my wax, and generally 1 pound of wax melts down to be about 20 ounces of melted wax. So you kind of have to figure out with your containers how many ounces of liquid you would need, and then do the math on that. So, and you can go on the internet, there's little charts and things that you can get that tell you exactly, if you have this big of a container, how much wax you want to melt. To be honest with you, I usually just kind of eyeball it, and if I need more, I add more, and if I have extra left over, I let it harden, and then I can use it later in a candle. So and what I did was I took I have a old box of crayons here. My kids are big now and they don't use the crayons anymore, so I just found a color that I thought was kind of outdoorsy looking. It's kind of a funky little green color, and I peeled it and I just dumped it in my wax here. So this is my melted wax, and it's over a double boiler, and just want to slowly melt it. It's really not too dangerous. Like paraffin can start on fire, and it's really kind of scary to work with, but soy wax is really very safe unless you burn yourself, so don't do that. So I measured out my wax on a scale, and before I measured it, I actually put my container that I was going to measure it on the scale, and I zeroed it out, and then that way I know I'm starting at zero, and I measured out about I did like 12 ounces today. And then I've gone ahead and I've melted on the stove over the double boiler my soy wax. I've added my crayon in there. And keep in mind that when you add a color to the wax, it's generally a lot darker than it's going to be when it hardens up. So it might look a little dark to you at first, but always kind of err on a little bit darker side, because then you'll actually have some color in your candle when you're done. And then what you want to do is make sure that it's cooled down enough, so you don't want it to start to set up on the sides, but you don't want it at boiling temperature either when you pour it, because sometimes it can just take really a long time, and also to set. And then also when you add your fragrances to it, and I'm using pure essential oils, you don't want it steamy, because then it's going to carry all of the scent of the essential oil away, and then it's not going to be good. So what I'm using is citronella, which is obviously something that people have been buying, citronella candles forever to put on their decks. And it's really kind of a nice, it's almost like a eucalyptus, kind of a lemony smell, and bugs don't like it. So I'm going to use this in all the 3 candles that I've got here, and I'm going to use probably about 10 to 12 drops per candle. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put about 30 drops in there. Okay, there's 10. It's kind of slow. Talk amongst yourselves. There's 20. Okay, and 30, and a couple for good measure. Okay, Now, I always think it's best to use essential oils because they're natural. You don't want to be breathing in toxic chemicals that are often used in synthetic fragrances, number one. And number two, since we're using this as a bug repellent, we actually want to use something that in nature repels bugs. And essential oils come from they're almost like the blood of the plant. They're the essential oils that keep plants alive. They keep them from getting diseases. They repel animals and insects. And so when those oils are extracted from the plant, they do the same thing for us. So I'm using citronella, but there's a lot of different recipes. You could even use the recipe that I gave you for bug spray, which smells really nice, in your candle as well. So once you have it all stirred in, and I want to probably give it a good, 20 or 30 stirs. Then you're just about ready to pour your wax. And what I did is I actually put my glass jars and my little tin in the oven on warm with my wick stuck down there. You can see I've got a little wick, and I stuck it down with a little glue dot on the bottom. And then what I did is I kind of wrapped the wick around a candle. You could use a chopstick, and there's actually little wick holders, but no reason to buy it if you can use a little pencil like this. And what I did is I kept these in the oven at warm so that the glass is actually a little bit warm. So you hate to pour really hot wax into a cold glass vessel and have it shatter. That's not good. So we're ready to pour now. Like I said, it's just super easy. So I'm going to take it off the double boiler, and I'm going to wipe any water off so it doesn't drip into my little vessels here. Put that on the stove. And I'm just going to gently pour down the side my wax. And I'll probably pour this fairly evenly here. We'll see how well I measured. Like I said, it was kind of a guess. And the good thing is, when you're making candles, the other thing you can remember is that you can always melt some more and just add it on top. And then you kind of get a, swirly look or whatever too. So I guess that turned out pretty well. I could have probably used a little bit more wax, but again, I don't know, I think they look pretty good. So I'm going to actually keep these in the oven overnight and let them harden. So you don't want to get too zealous and try to trim the wicks or anything before they're hard, because it will they'll be soft and you'll kind of smush the wax, so you don't want to do that. So let these harden for about 24 hours. Then you can put your nice little lid on top, put a little gift tag if you want, or label it, and you've got a fantastic little gift. So enjoy and keep the bugs away and have a happy summer. God bless.